What if I told you that everything you've been taught about business, about competition, is wrong? What if I told you that competition is for losers? That's a bold statement, I know, but it's the core, world-changing idea behind a book that honestly rewired my brain a little bit. And today, we're going to talk about it.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a book that isn't just about business, it's about the future. It's Peter Thiel's 0 to 1. Now, if you don't know Peter Thiel, you definitely know his work. He's a co-founder of PayPal, the first outside investor in Facebook, and he's had a hand in dozens of other companies that have shaped the modern world. So when he writes a book titled Notes on Startups or How to Build the Future, you kind of have to listen. The book's central idea is right there in the title. Thiel argues that progress comes in two forms. There's horizontal progress, which he calls going from 1 to N. This is copying things that already work, taking an existing idea and making another one. Think of it like making 100 typewriters after you've already figured out how to make one. This, he says, is the story of globalization. But then there's vertical progress, going from 0 to 1. This is creating something entirely new. It's not building another typewriter, it's inventing the word processor. This, he says, is the true meaning of technology. And this book is a guide, or maybe more of a manifesto, for the builders, the creators, the people who want to go from 0 to 1. If you're an entrepreneur, an artist, a scientist, or just someone who feels like we're stuck in a loop of imitation, this book is for you. It's not a step-by-step manual. It's a book that teaches you how to think. So, let's get into the deep dive, because this is where it gets really interesting. The single most provocative and, frankly, most important idea in 0 to 1 is Thiel's assault on the sacred cow of capitalism, competition. We're all taught that competition is good. It makes us stronger, sharper. It drives prices down and quality up, right? Well, Thiel looks at this and says, not so fast. He argues that from a business perspective, perfect competition is the absolute worst state to be in. In a world of perfect competition, like, say, the U.S. airline industry, companies are all so similar, selling the same thing, that they have no choice but to compete on price. And what happens when you compete on price? Your profits get competed away, down to 0. He points out that in 2012, airlines made just 37 cents per passenger. It's a brutal, relentless struggle just to survive. So what's the opposite of perfect competition? Monopoly. And I know what you're thinking. Monopoly sounds bad. It brings to mind price-gouging villains from board games. But Thiel defines it differently. For him, a monopoly isn't about bullying rivals or getting special favors from the government. A monopoly is simply a company that is so good at what it does that no other firm can offer a close substitute. Think about Google. It became so unique and valuable that it essentially owns its market. Because a monopoly is safe from the daily dogfight of competition, it has the freedom to think about its workers, its impact on the world, and most importantly, its long-term future. As Thiel puts it, all happy companies are different. Each one earns a monopoly by solving a unique problem. All failed companies are the same. They failed to escape competition. This idea completely changed how I look at business. The goal isn't to be the best in a crowded field. The goal is to create a new field entirely. But this raises a question. If creating a new monopoly is the path to success, why do so many smart people end up in brutally competitive fields? This is a concept that really stuck with me. Thiel argues it's because we live in a world of indefinite optimism. Let me break that down. He creates this amazing 4-quadrant chart. You can be optimistic or pessimistic about the future. And your view can be definite, meaning you have a concrete plan, or indefinite, meaning you don't. A definite optimist believes the future will be better, and they have a plan to make it so. This was the mindset of America from the 1950s and 60s. We were going to build interstate highways, the Golden Gate Bridge, and we were going to put a man on the moon. We had blueprints for the future. But today, Thiel argues we live in an age of indefinite optimism. We generally believe the future will be better, but we have no idea how or why. We just expect it to happen. So what do you do when you're optimistic but have no specific plan? You hedge your bets. You collect options. This explains so much. It's why ambitious students build these sprawling, diverse resumes, preparing for a completely unknowable future. It's why finance has become so dominant. As Thiel says, finance epitomizes indefinite thinking because it's how you make money when you have no idea how to create wealth. You just rearrange existing assets. I have to admit, when I first read this part, a light bulb went off. This ideology of competition, this indefinite optimism, it's a trap. It encourages us to become well-rounded cogs in a machine we don't understand, instead of the definite, focused creators who actually build new machines. So how do you break out? How do you know if you're building a true monopoly or just another company destined for the competitive meat grinder? Well, Thiel gives us a framework. He says every new venture must have a good answer to 7 key questions, and he uses the massive failure of the clean tech industry as a cautionary tale. Think about it. In the mid-2000s, everyone agreed green energy was the future. Billions were invested, but most companies failed spectacularly. Why? Because they had feel-good stories, but no good answers to the crucial questions, like the engineering question. Is your technology a breakthrough or just a small improvement? Thiel argues you need something 10 times better than the alternative to get people to switch. A solar panel that's 20% more efficient isn't enough to overcome the inertia and risk of a new product. Or the monopoly question. Are you starting with a huge share of a small market? So many clean tech companies said the energy market is trillions of dollars and saw that as a good thing. Thiel says that's a death sentence. A huge market means brutal competition. The right move is to find a tiny, specific niche you can dominate completely and then expand, just like Facebook started with only Harvard students. And my favorite, the secret question. Have you identified a unique opportunity that others don't see? This framework is so powerful, and he contrasts the clean tech failures with the stunning success of Tesla. Why did Tesla work when everyone else failed? Because they answered all 7 questions perfectly. They had 10x technology, they started in the niche market of high-end electric sports cars, and they had a secret. They understood that clean tech was as much about fashion and social status as it was about the environment. They made a green car that was, first and foremost, an amazing car. And there's one last crucial idea that ties all of this together: the power law. This might be the most counterintuitive lesson in the whole book. We tend to think that results are evenly distributed on a bell curve. Some do badly, some do well, most are in the middle. But Thiel says in the real world, especially in startups and technology, returns follow a power law. You might know it as the 80-20 rule, but it's even more extreme. In venture capital, he explains, the single best investment in a fund often returns more than all the other investments combined. Think about that. At his own firm, Founders Fund, their investment in Facebook outperformed everything else in that fund, put together. The lesson here is profound. It's not about diversifying. It's about focus. A few key decisions will have astronomically greater impact than all the others. One market will be better than all the others. One distribution strategy will dominate all the others. You can't hedge your way to success. You have to make a few bold, correct bets. This applies to our careers, too. As Thiel says, life is not a portfolio. You can't live a dozen different lives and hope one works out. You have to think hard, make a definite choice, and go all in.
But there's a hidden pattern I noticed while rereading this. It's a thread that connects every single idea in the book, and it's something that makes 0 to 1 so different from other books in its genre. The hidden pattern is Thiel's profound belief in secrets. He asks, what important truth do very few people agree with you on? A good answer to that question, he says, is a secret. A secret isn't some impossible mystery like string theory. It's an important truth that's knowable but unknown. Something hard to find, but findable. And as I was reading, it just clicked. Competition versus monopoly. Definite optimism. The 7 questions. The power law. These are all tools to help you find and act on secrets. Every great company Thiel talks about is built around a secret. Airbnb was built on the secret that people would be willing to let strangers stay in their homes. PayPal was built on the secret that the internet could host a new global currency system. This belief in secrets is a quiet but powerful argument against cynicism. It's a belief that the map of the world is not yet complete, that there are still frontiers to explore, not just geographically, but in science, in technology, and in business. Most business books are about navigating the world as it is. 0 to 1 is a call to action to discover the world as it could be. And once I saw that, the entire book felt less like a collection of contrarian takes and more like a coherent and deeply optimistic philosophy. So, what's the final verdict on 0 to 1? This isn't just a book for startup founders. It's for anyone who wants to create. Thiel's core message is a powerful one. The future won't happen on its own. It's not something that just arrives. The future is something that has to be built. He challenges us to stop copying what works and start creating what's new, to escape the brutal zero-sum game of competition and instead build a monopoly by creating unique value for the world, to believe that there are still secrets to uncover and a definite, better future that we can shape with careful planning and bold action. For me, 0 to 1 is an absolute must-read. It's short, it's dense, and it will challenge you on almost every page. It's not a manual, it's a mind expander. So, what do you think? Is competition really for losers? Is the world full of secrets waiting to be discovered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into books that make you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.